Guys, how you all doing? Looks like I'm way overdue for another video. Sorry about that. This past week I got back to Berlin and I had to move apartments. So here I am in my awesome, amazing new apartment. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I just finished moving in the last little pieces of furniture and putting everything into place, and now it really does feel like home already, so it's really pretty here. And yeah, today I want to do just a short video, and I want to talk about overeating and emotional eating, because one of the things that a lot of people do is we eat when we're stressed, and it's not really a natural response, because your natural fight or flight response is when you're stressed, you either run or you fight, but basically your digestive system technically shuts down when you're stressed. And this is the same with modern stress, which is obviously a much more prolonged kind of stress. And it's really just not a natural response to eat. Same thing as when you're sick. A child with a fever will never voluntarily really eat anything, but then what do parents do? Oh my God, my child is sick. Why is the child sick? Well, it's not eating. So if the child is eating, then it must be healthy. So they force the child to eat whatever it may be, some kind of broth or just a light meal. And okay, cool, the child is eating, so now the child must be healthy again. But this isn't actually the case, because when our body is stressed, it needs all its resources to deal with the stress. And digestion takes a lot of time and energy. And it takes resources away from what the body actually wants to be doing. That's why when we're sick, our body decides, okay, no food, I'm actually going to use all the energy that I have right now in order to fight this illness or whatever it may be. I mean, when you actually eat a heavy meal and you're digesting that meal, about 1/3 of your body's blood flow goes to your digestive system. That's 1/3 of blood flow that then isn't going to the brain, or it isn't going to the muscles. So it isn't going towards solving the problem or getting away from whatever situation you may be in. And it's very strange actually, because we seem to have trained ourselves, instead of fighting or dealing with the situation or even just getting away from it, to be in complete denial. And that's really what we do when we eat, when we're stressed or emotional, is we sit down on the couch feeling really emotional, and we stuff our face with whatever Ben and Jerry's or whatever it is that you eat when you're emotional and having a bad day. In our case, maybe banana ice cream, but like a whole ton of it. And what it does is it forces the body to focus its resources elsewhere. So you can't deal with complex emotions and like just complicated problems when your body's busy digesting a really, really large, heavy meal. So it's a very strange coping mechanism that we've actually developed. But I think it's really important to have a look at that, and maybe for you with yourself, a lot of emotional eating is just when you're stressed and you're trying not to cope with the situation. So maybe have a look at how you deal with emotional stress, how you deal with physical stress, even like if there's a lot of stress at work, for example, how do you deal with that? Do you sit and eat, or do you actually go out and deal with it? I mean, I've met a lot of people by now who are on a raw food diet, and pretty much all of them told me that when they first went raw, all these emotions started coming back up, all these emotions that they hadn't really dealt with in years. I don't know, maybe their grandmother died when they were 5 or something, and they really loved her, but they never really dealt with it because they just suppressed it. And they decided, okay, no, I've got to be strong, I've got to move on, so let me repress this. But then suddenly it comes back up. Because what happens on a raw food diet is that your body doesn't have to deal with so much shit from your food. And it frees up so much energy. The way you can look at it actually is that your body has a finite amount of energy. And from this energy, let's say this is all your energy. And from this energy, this much in a normal diet gets wasted for digestion, and then this is for detoxing, this is emotional coping, this is mental reasoning, and maybe physical exertion or something like that. But now if you're eating a raw food diet, only this much is maybe being used for digestion, so you have so much space for emotional coping. And that's absolutely amazing, but it's also quite scary for some people, because a lot of people just have so much emotional stuff that's pent up inside them, and that really just needs to be dealt with. So for a lot of people, it may not even be ideal to go on a raw food diet immediately, because there would just be too much stuff coming up, both physically and emotionally. Which is why I really believe not in necessarily an all or nothing approach, but to get there gradually, to slowly start incorporating more raw, unprocessed foods, and then you can deal with the detox as you go along, instead of having it all at once, because that can be completely overwhelming and can kind of traumatize you and put you off of it for a while, I suppose, as well. I mean, I'm supposed to feel all amazing on raw foods, but then suddenly, what's all this detox? Why am I feeling so horrible? This raw foods thing is complete and utter crap. And I'm just going to go back to eating cooked foods, because at least there I was feeling somewhat emotionally not satisfied, but at least numbed down. So much for raw foods. But really, I would really urge you to have a look at why you eat in certain situations. Is it stress? Is it emotional coping that you're trying to achieve? When someone says, when someone criticizes something you do you think about it and maybe deal with it, or maybe try to even solve the problem, or do you go and have a bar of chocolate or something like that? I mean, that's a fairly good example, I suppose. How do you cope with emotional stress situations? And just have a look at that. And I think there's always some work to be done in that aspect. So yeah, that's all for my video for today. A lot shorter than the other ones. I'm probably going to make quite a few more now that I've got a bit more time. So yeah, if you like this video, just give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Cool, bye bye.